All right, I'm back again, and been hesitant to talk about some of these shootings been going on because I don't want to publicize them and all that crap. I don't want to also seem like a ghoul wanting to piggyback off of tragedies like a lot of people are doing. But I've seen a couple things lately, and I just want to address those. And one is that mansion in West Virginia. He's calling for, I can't remember if it's an assault rifle ban, but definitely raising the age to 21 to purchase a firearm. And that Nadler, he did the same thing. There's a little video clip. I'll see if I can find a link to it. Where Thomas Massey stood up and kind of showed him up a little bit. But here's my thoughts on raising the age to own firearms to the age of 21. It's kind of a complicated thing. If you're going to say, yes, you're an adult at the age of 18, should you not have all of your rights as long as you're not in some way prohibited at that point in time? Or if it's a matter of you are not, as they're going to say, mentally developed enough at the age of 18 to have certain rights, at least at that point in time that they say you should be older, should the age where you're considered an adult be raised to 21, so that way you can be deemed a responsible, mature adult and have all the rights at the same time. That's one thing I'm kind of wondering is, what changed? Why was it at one point in time you were considered a mature, responsible adult at the age of 18, and they're trying to move it to 21? Kind of moving the goalposts, in my opinion. And it kind of makes me wonder if maybe the education, or how children rather are being raised, might be contributing to a lack of development, if you will. And you can pass that buck on to parenting, the school system, what have you. That's something I'm kind of curious about. Of course, I'm not an expert enough in the brain development and psychoanalysis and all this stuff. I'm not an expert, so I can't say for certain. There's a lot of things that I'm just not up to. My knowledge and expertise is not up to par enough that I can make that judgment call. However, I would like to point this out. Thomas Massey did fire back at Nadler and said, he asked, would the senator, representative, whatever, like to join me in co-sponsoring a bill to raise the age to join the military to 21? And Nadler immediately went into, with the draft, and that's all I got to see. I'm kind of curious how it is that a civilian like you or I would not be deemed responsible enough to purchase a firearm until the age of 21, but we would be responsible enough to go into the military and have access to firearms that people like you and I legally can't own unless we jump through a whole bunch of hoops, get FFLs and everything else. And even then, have access to weaponry that the average person like you and I, and I'm saying you and I because the vast majority of the people who watch my videos, all two of you, aren't military, that I can tell. But by going into the military, you get access to a whole bunch of weaponry and things that average people can't get our hands on. And you can do that at the age of 18. So why is it? And I know what people will say. They're going to say, they get training. They get that teaches them how to be more mature and responsible. Well, that causes me to flip back to, what are we doing wrong as a society if people are not coming of age, whether it is 18 or 21 or what have you, and they're not mature and responsible enough to have all their rights at the age of 21. And if it's possible for that to be trained into them at the age of 18 in the military, in what ways can, well, you can't really legislate the parental aspects of it, but I'm sure the government, since they have control over the education system, could improve it to help, at least in course of going to school for like 40 hours a week, kind of guide them into being more mature, responsible, moral adults with the functional capabilities to be an adult. Because I remember when I got out into the world, I didn't feel like I was adequately prepared. And I had a few courses that I don't think a lot of people do get. I did take a basic fundamentals of accounting. I had relatives that were old school teachers, and I mean, one of them taught for 50 years. My grandmother briefly was a teacher in the late 30s. She graduated college in 38, got in an accident, didn't start teaching until 39 to 40, and then followed my grandfather down to Fort Benning when her term was up in 40, I believe it was. So I was lucky I had that. I was lucky when I was 8 years old, my grandmother had me spending my summer when I wasn't on the farm working for a retired construction worker. So I had a lot better understanding of what the real world is than the average person when they hit 18. But here's the thing. I was nowhere near prepared. When I went into college, I was not adequately prepared. When I transferred to a college that was about an hour and a half away from home, I was not prepared for it. When I graduated college, I still was not prepared for the real world. Heck, I'm 35 now, and I don't know if I still don't feel like I am adequately prepared to be an adult. And as I mentioned, I have been fortunate in that in a lot of ways my childhood was shaped by people that gave me experiences that a lot of people don't get my age, in the United States at least. And I'm still amazed at how unprepared I am. So what could we be doing differently as a nation that could help prepare people to go into the real world, if you will. What elements of military basic training could be worked into the curriculum to help, maybe not be as strict as the military, but there must be certain elements that could be taken in form of a basis of a training, if you will, or education to supplement the education to help them become, or help guide them into being more mature, responsible adults. That's what I'm kind of curious on. Because either they're not mature, responsible adults and adult enough to, join the military, fight and die for your country, or you're mature enough that you get all your rights. That seems like there's just a little bit of a double standard when it benefits the government's interest. And maybe it's a matter of we as a country have been letting our children down for quite a while. And that each successful generation, that's easy for me to say, that's not even the word I'm really wanting to say, but each succeeding generation is less prepared than the one that came before it. That's what it seems like to me, at least. Let me know what you think. I will try to flip a link or two down below. If I can find the exchange between Massey and Nadler, I will throw it down there. As I've said many times before, my goal and desire would be to improve society to the point that we are well-rounded and mature enough and responsible enough that it don't matter what you own. You would be just as able to go pick up a suppressor and a fully automatic weapon without any extra licenses, just like you can get like a nail gun at the hardware store. That would be my ultimate dream goal. But even I can understand that I won't be alive to see, even if we started working on it today, and even if I live to be 100, society would not progress to that point by the time I pass away. It would be something that we would have to work on improving, and there will be generations where several generations, I estimate like 5, that just won't be ready because they wouldn't have it in the truly formative years. We didn't get to where we are in 1 or 2 generations, and identifying and fixing the problem won't be a 1 to 2 generation thing either. And as I've also said many times before, you don't cure cancer by treating the symptoms. You cure the cancer by going after the cancer itself. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. It's gone longer than I really originally intended. Again, let me know what you think. Later.